This is Danny Flexent here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend and top trainer, Don Charles. Don, how are you?
I'm very well, Dan. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You're our resident heavyweight expert, so there's a lot going on in the heavyweight division at the moment. We're not going to talk too much about Joyce Parker because when this video goes out, that fight may already be in the rearview mirror. But there's plenty of other stuff going on, and I guess the obvious place to start is yourself and your heavyweights, particularly Dereck Chisora, who is coming off a great win against Kubrat Pulev, guided by you in the corner. What's the latest with him?
I'll be quite honest with you. I tend to just stay in my lane. We got the victory, which was the whole, focus to get that win. It's a very, very important win for everybody concerned. Myself, the fighter, Dereck. Obviously, the stage of his career where he's that no fight you can afford to lose, but that was a must win. And so we managed to achieve that, and delighted to have achieved that. So I'm just waiting really for instructions of, I don't manage Dereck, as you know, I train him. So we're just waiting to hear of what the next move, next potential fight will be, who it will be, and when it will be.
It seemed for a little while like a Tyson Fury third fight was on the cards. That's now fading a little bit. Is there a particular fighter or a particular level you'd like to see Dereck compete at next?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of fights to be made out there. Dereck's, how can I put it, a very experienced veteran. He's been around for a while now, Dereck, and there's a lot of all these young up and coming heavyweights who have, in a way, caught up to where we are, or where Dereck was, or where Dereck is. People like Filip Hrgović. You got the winner. You got Parker and Joyce fighting. Dereck has already fought Parker twice. You got your Bacolis, you've got, there's a series of, you got Michael Hunter, there's a series of heavyweights. Obviously, Dereck's got history with Dillian Whyte. They've already had 2 fights. So a third fight the public would still want to see a fight like that. There's Zhilei Zhang, the chap that I thought he won against Filip, but they gave it to Filip. So he's about. There's the Deonto Wilder fight, who's fighting Helenius, who was previously Dereck Chisora, in my opinion, had beaten Helenius. So there's a fight with Helenius. So there's quite a lot of fights with Dereck that can be made going forward.
Daniel Dubois, is that another name possibly with the WBA regular belt?
That's not a bad shot. He wouldn't be the first on my list. Like I said, this is of all the names I've just reeled off that we can contest against. Dan is still yet to fight at that level. No disrespect to him, he's a young guy. There's a whole lot of people he can fight prior to maybe us fighting him. Apart from the belt he's got, which is a good belt, it's a world title. It's a world title. So, but he, like I said, he wouldn't be the first on my in terms of names on my list to fight Dereck. There are so many other names I would prefer for Dereck to face, and then see what happens in the future.
Now, a fight in the heavyweight division that I find quite intriguing, I'm not sure if it will be easy on the eye, is Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter, which is scheduled at the moment for the end of October. What do you make of that one? An interesting, dropping my words here, but an interesting mesh of styles.
Yeah, very, very. I mean, I've got to give it to Hughie Fury. I mean, this young man from a very early age, he's fought for a world title against Joseph Parker. In my opinion, he won that fight. But it's one of those, like, it depends on what you like to see. Sure. So he's fought Povetkin. He's fought a series of names already. So the Michael Hunter fight, I think he's gotten all the experience, let's say, he needs at that level to be able to fight. And I styles make fights. It's a good matchup against Hunter. Hunter hasn't looked that brilliant in his recent times, I must say, and I really do fancy Huey Fury to take the decision on that.
And then we have potentially the really big one in December, which would be a all-British heavyweight super fight between AJ and Tyson Fury. They're going back and forth, the teams at the moment, still in negotiation. It seems too good to be true, but we hope that they do get over the line. What do you make of Joshua's willingness to go in with someone as brilliant as Fury so soon after back-to-back defeats to Usyk?
Well, there's so many ways you can look at it. Yeah, sometimes, everybody's got an opinion, including me. Yeah. When you look at it, at first point of looking at that, you think, why are you doing that? This is to AJ. Why are you going to fight someone as, like you said, as good as Tyson Fury? Then you go and look at it, and you're going to start to understand why he would make such a decision, him and his team. He's lost 2 fights back to back, okay? Closely contested fights. I know people are quick to jump on the bandwagon and ridicule AJ and stuff. Usyk was in a fight. It wasn't a walk in the park for Usyk. He's an exceptional tactician, Usyk. So he got those victories over AJ back to back. AJ didn't get beaten up in the fight. It wasn't a fight. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. So he lost that fight. So I could totally understand why he would. Then he's got to look around him. Who else can I fight for what? Yeah. Usyk has the belts, 3 belts, and I believe he's injured. He's not eligible to fight. Right. So suddenly the Gypsy King turns around to you, coming off the back of a loss. Yeah. Normally that's unheard of. But AJ being AJ is a draw, a massive draw, and still is. So, then you get an offer to fight for the most prestigious belt, which is the WBC title. I couldn't see why I would. I've asked myself that question. If that was me, damn right, I would rather have a fight where it's a high risk and high reward. Yeah. Whereas all the other guys, AJ could potentially, let's say, go and fight, let's say, to rebuild. Yeah. To rebuild what? It just needs to make a few tweaks here, there, and there, technically. And also, when your morale is low, yeah, and will he be up for those potentially other fights? Yeah, the momentum will be with the other guys because it's not, I'm gonna say, AJ can be beaten, right? So the momentum is actually with the opposition. If AJ was to take those other fights, which is a high risk, low rewards, because anyone he fights now, from your Dylan White to your Michael Hunters to whoever else, it's a high risk and low rewards. So you can then make your calculation, and I can then just start to understand why he will say, fine, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Fury. I'm going to, can he win the fight? Hell yeah, he can win the fight. Okay, it's a heavyweight fight. People forget, it's a heavyweight fight, and AJ has campaigned at a very, very, very top level. This is a guy who beat Vladimir Klitschko. He stopped Vladimir Klitschko, right? He stopped Povetkin, yeah? He's campaigned. Look at his resume, who he has beaten to get to where he's fought Usyk twice. He's fought Andy Ruiz twice, okay? So when you look at his recent record of who he has fought, then you can start to understand why he would think, okay, maybe this fight hasn't come when I would like it to come, but nevertheless, can we get ourselves together? He didn't get bashed up in the Usyk fight where he needs to recover from cuts and bruises or whatever, yeah? And so you could understand why he would say, yeah, and if I pull it off, which people don't expect me to pull it off, if I pull it off, look at the rewards on it, yeah? Not just the monetary. I don't think he will be doing it for money. It's purely for the opportunity to maybe to be able to pull that off. I mean, it's not impossible, is it?
It's not impossible, but a lot of people categorize Tyson Fury as kind of a bigger, more powerful version of Usyk. He's got some of the same attributes. What does AJ need to do to approach this differently from what he did against Usyk?
Right. First of all, before I go into the answering this question, right, I'm a Tyson Fury fan because I once upon a time devised game plans to try and overcome this guy with the name of Dereck Chisora to fight Fury on 2 occasions. First occasion, he beat us because Dereck was out of shape. He wasn't at the games that day. And then the second time we prepared to fight Fury, I was that convinced. Yeah, I'm not even a betting man. I would have put my house on it that we're gonna get an emphatic victory over him. And he made us look like very pedestrian. Yes, he's that good. I'm a Fury fan, but there's that but. That but is that, yes, you're quite rightly to say that Fury is a bigger version of Usyk. Yes, he is. Okay, but what people are overlooking because they're not coaches. Most people who tell you they're not coaches never coached anybody, but yet again they feel that it's their opinion. I'm not saying they shouldn't have an opinion, yeah, but they've never looked at that. Usyk is a much smaller guy. AJ had to stoop down to try and fight Usyk. If you notice that, his stance, he lost all his natural attributes. Whether that was right or wrong, but he was doing well with it in the second fight. Yeah, okay. People always focus at the negatives. There were also positive parts in that fight, during that fight for AJ. So he had to stoop down to try and, for the height reasons. With Fury, he doesn't have to. He actually has to look up.
Punch up, yeah.
Punch up. And Fury is a much bigger target. Okay? Okay? So there's a lot of factors one has to look at. And then you can start to understand why they've calculated it. And they could see, can we win this? Yes, we can win this. AJ, I would like to say, doesn't need that type of money where he can say, oh, I'm going to do it. You know, I'm getting paid. No, it's not. I believe it definitely will not be about the money. It's purely to restore what he believed, his position where he feel he stand within the boxing, heavyweight boxing.
Now, just finally then, before I let you go, if that fight does come off, I'm not going to ask you to pick a winner definitively.
Please don't.
How do you kind of weigh it up this far out? Is it a 50-50 fight? Is it 60-40 in Tyson's favour? What do you think at this stage?
Well, I'd be a fool if I said it was a 50-50 fight. No, it's not a 50-50 fight. I will say right now it's a 70-30 fight. Yeah, in Furies, but that can change. Yeah, that can change nearer the fight, depending on what AJ is doing in training. Okay, 70-30. But guess what? 30% is still a lot of percentage.
True.
It's massive. It's a massive percentage. Yeah. So, yeah. If we always speak regularly, myself and yourself, let's narrow the time. Do you believe it's going to happen in December?
I'm not convinced. I've got to say. Yeah. I mean, it seems the closer we get to the deadline for negotiations, the less likely it seems. But you know.
Yeah, that's my only concern is that will AJ be able to make the adjustments? Because adjustments needs to be made. Yeah. It needs to make adjustments and able to take on Fury in such a short space of time. That's my only concern. Yeah. Nevertheless, if that fight, in an ideal situation, that fight could be made for February, March, April, spring, perfect. But if it happens in December, it wouldn't surprise me either. But the question, like I said, is can AJ make those necessary adjustments within a short space of time?
Brilliant. Don, it's always insightful. Really appreciate your time. And yeah, let's catch up again soon.
Most definitely, God willing.